Hello guys and welcome to another Starbase ship showcase. Today I will be showcasing the Kraken from Roman shipyards. Now this particular ship was actually built by Roman from Roman shipyards, and as you can see it is a very unique design, right? This thing has little tentacle-like mining arms coming out, and it's got a whole lot of them, 12 to be exact. So it comes with 12 mining lasers, 4 ore collectors, a material scanner, and a tractor beam, which you usually don't see the tractor beams on ships. So that's pretty neat. As far as storage, it comes with 720 ore crates. Generator-wise, it comes with 48 generator rod slots, as well as 96 extra fuel rods. Moving towards the back, we can see a really neat thruster array here. We've got a mix between triangle thrusters in the center and then these box thrusters supporting the ore blocks on the outside. It does have the tier 3 exhaust on it, and it really looks neat with that yellow color. As far as propellant, we're working with about 108 million propellant. It generates 144,000 EPS of power. Its battery consists of 3.84 million units of power. And then in terms of speed, we're talking 145 meters a second dry, and fully loaded, you're looking at about 90 meters a second. Now coming to the side here, we've got a handful of maneuvering triangle thrusters towards the back and then again towards the front. And in the middle, we have the Kraken's logo with a little Roman shipyard segment down there at the bottom. Really neat. I like this design he has here on the side. And of course it's replicated on the other side as well. Towards the front here we have some more triangle thrusters for reverse thrust. And then we have our range finders for asteroid avoidance lined towards the top of the shell here, and then a couple bolted on to the ore blocks. Now with these arms, there are a whole slew of different setups you can run with. You can run with them tight in a tight formation, you can run with them out like this. He's pretty much thought of it all, and you've got a lot of leeway when finding the right one that might fit you the best. Alright, let's go ahead and hop in here and take a look at the interior. So on the side here we've just got this little door that pops in and out via the button, and our resource port. Okay, coming to the inside, this is where the ship gets really neat in my opinion. So we can see these rings, and the first wave of rings actually has the generators, right? And if we travel further inwards, we can see that there are extra fuel rods lining the entire ship. Again, we have a battery ring, 2 of them, of course. And then on the very end here, we've got our propellant ring with a reconstruction machine placed right in the middle. It's quite a beautiful and unique looking ship, right? I really like this design work here. You've got kind of this catwalk deal going to the back, and then we've got our warp core, or fast travel core setup underneath that. We've got 2 ISAM quad setups. Just really neat. I haven't seen such a unique design. I mean, the ship packs a punch. It's got a lot of features. It can carry a lot of ore. And for all that, usually ships are pretty compact. But this one really does have a spacious interior. Alright, moving towards the front here. We've got some Yolo chips here. And matter of fact, while I'm on the topic of Yolo chips, if we hop down here right under the bridge, we've got our flight computer here as well as our transponder. And then on the right and left side, we have humongous Yolo racks, right? And he's done a really good job at labeling them as well, so we can see that he has the different arm patterns, the Yolo for that, in here. And then if we go over to the other side, we've got our asteroid avoidance Yolo chips here in the middle, as well as our laser pulse chips, and then just some general chips to run the ship down towards the bottom right hand corner. I quite like this design. It's pretty badass, just sitting here and soaking in all the chips and all the Yolo code it takes to run this ship and provide it its really unique and cool features, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a seat. This is where things get really, really interesting. So we've got a panel here on our left side, we've got another panel on the right side, and then up towards the top we have some other unique features. He's got a little hello type of panel, as well as this is something I really like, this in-service panel. So what we're getting here is almost like a space odometer, you know, to see how much use you've gotten out of your ship. Just looking down from there, we have our fuel rod time and our propellant time. Of course, that's zip right now because I'm not moving. And then this switch here and this one over here is actually what folds out these panels. So when you get in the ship, these switches are going to be facing upwards. You just click them downwards and then these panels will rotate out. Typically they're folded in behind the pilot's seat. Now just looking up here, we have our basic ISAN panel as well as our propellant and rod levels. And then looking towards the back here, we have our standard cruise button, our turtle button, and then we've got our HRF button. Alright, let's go ahead and start on the left side here. So this very top left-hand panel, we can choose our arm pattern. Here we have tucked, auto large, auto medium, auto small, expand and contract. There's a whole load of different options for this. And then this switch here, of course, changes your arms pattern. And then the green one here actually changes the arms. So you got to push and hold just a little bit for it to work. And now they're coming into place on the tight pattern. This button here will actually go ahead and reset. We'll get to that in a second. The left button is your pulsed mining lasers. You can see they're kind of going around in a ring. And then just to the right of that, we've got our lasers on kind of a hold pattern. Okay. Here we've got our material scanner button, and the results of that will show up right below. And then we've got this button here that resets the position. So they're going to go ahead and reset, and it gives you the warning right here to not change pattern while they're resetting. And then once it gets reset, it will say, okay, it's safe to change the pattern. And we'll see that here in just a second. Moving down, we have a handful of buttons that related to mining. This one here is your precision button, so it limits the movement of the ship, and what that does is it helps you kind of hone in on an asteroid, right? Because if you have it off, it might be hard to line up and to eat an asteroid. Moving down here to the bottom, we have our approach rangefinder here, and then it also toggles the headlights. So if we switch that off, we lose our headlights, we lose our approach rangefinder. The button just to the right of that activates your approach, and it will start to approach your target. Now, you will see just below that button, it says approach target with a 20. And we can actually change that with this little switch here. And so if we want to approach at 25 meters, we'll just turn it to 25. If we want to approach at 20, we'll turn it to 20. And then just to the right of that, we have our tractor beam button. Whoops. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this right-hand side panel here. And this one is primarily your navigation panel. Starting in the top left-hand corner, we can see that we have a list of waypoints that we can change with this switch here. And of course, these waypoints can actually be pre-programmed into the ship. Trying to think. Actually, I think you do it right here. Yes, right here. So you can pre-program in these waypoints using these switches and this panel here. And so we can see, we can actually type in our coordinate. Now these two buttons here change the rate at which your position changes. So right now, the position change is quite drastic. But we can use these buttons right here to go ahead and tune that down a little bit. That way we can get an actual fine-tuned waypoint in there. And then of course we can save it with this button, save our coordinates shown here, and then with the button just to the right of that, it actually activates the autopilot. And then our little autopilot info panel is just right below there. Just under that, we've got our transponder button. And then finally, we have our asteroid avoidance button. And it does have to rearrange those arms to activate the asteroid avoidance. That way they don't trip it on accident. And then of course here we could just take off. Just under that, we've got several little indicator lights just to let you know if you're running into something, but it's purely just a visual indicator. It has no use other than kind of letting you know visually. All right, let's take a hop out from the cockpit here and just admire the beauty of the ship one more time before we end off here. The Kraken is more of a luxurious ship in my opinion. It is pretty doggone expensive, but it does have value in my opinion. It's not just one of those luxury ships that you kind of showboat around. This is going to be one of those luxury ships where you actually get out there in the asteroid belt, you mine, and you get your work done, right? It is luxury, but the usability is there 100%. Absolutely. And it does demolish asteroids as well. As far as features, this thing has a load of them. You can't go wrong. There are features out the wazoo. You're going to be finding stuff you didn't even know about a week after building this ship. And I'd just like to take a moment here and say that over on the Roman Shipyards Discord, he actually has a document filled out with a full guide, right? It tells you what each and every switch on these panels do. If you have any questions, you can hop on over there, download that PDF file, and then actually it might not even be a PDF. I think it's a document file, but you can download that file and see what every single switch does. It's incredible. He has done an amazing job at going and labeling all of this, because it can be confusing if you're a first-time owner. You know, I've used the ship for maybe a week and I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around all this. So if I didn't explain something very well, which may be a possibility for sure, go over there, check out that document. You'll understand completely. He lays it all out in plain terms and labels everything. It's great. Let's go ahead and do our maneuvering test. Just checking out the pitch here. Very, very maneuverable. Same deal on the yaw. I feel like it might be slightly slower, but not by much. And then the roll isn't even bad, because a lot of ships, even if they nail pitch and yaw, the roll is kind of where they lack. But the roll on this ship isn't too bad. And if we go full throttle, and then full reverse, stops relatively quickly. Just hopping out of the ship here to give the final review. We can see all the arms tucked in. I would say that this ship is completely worth it. Like I just mentioned earlier, it's luxurious, but it does have that purpose. It works really well, demolishes asteroids. You're hauling 720 crates of ore. Yes, it does go a little on the slow side when you're fully loaded, but when you're hauling that much ore and your ship isn't just meant to haul ore, oh my. Okay, well there you go. I had my notifications on, I guess. Lucky subscriber. Anyways, getting back to it, you know, for ships not purely designed to haul ore, this thing does a lot more. You can't expect it to go 150 meters a second full. So I think 80 meters a second is reasonable in this scenario. It's beautiful. It's eye candy. Get the ship, you know. If you've got the money to spare, get the ship. It's completely worth it, in my opinion. I absolutely love it, and I have been using it pretty frequently. Hey guys, I wanted to kind of pop in here and give a disclaimer at the end of the video. So the arms on these ships are pretty unique, right? Typically they're just mounted right on the ship, but I will put in a disclaimer and say, hey, you might have some issues with it. I had some issues myself where I spawned in the ship and the arms were scattered all over the place, disassembled. Now this isn't a designer problem. Roman has absolutely nothing to do with this. This is simply just a game problem, and it's something that the guys over at Frozen Byte have to work with and fix. Now, as far as my experience goes, if you have a problem like this and your ship's just scattered all over the place, on spawning it in, they will refund it. Just F1 it. But just a little disclaimer at the end. Again, it has nothing to do with Roman. It's just a game bug. If you guys want to go ahead and get this ship, I'm going to leave the link to Roman's Discord down in the description below, so go ahead and check it out there. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time.